welcome to the Magic of Boot 46th edition. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta. A very good morning to you over there.
Yeah. Uh, for you, good night, probably, right?
Yeah,
Or is,
it's fairly late, 8:08 p.m. at 23rd of September, where I'm sitting. Just watched a international friendly between Argentina and Honduras, but we're not going to talk about it for the moment. We'll just hold it while we go to the international friendly section.
yeah.
But before going there, how are you doing?
I'm actually doing like super well. How about you?
Great. It's been busy with everything, but yeah, good, good as well. So we're supposed to cover English Premier League, which didn't
Yeah.
really happen as much as we would have liked to talk.
Yeah, there were some interesting matches like Tottenham, Leicester,
I think Everton was playing somewhere. We'll talk about it.
Everton, West Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like only 3, 4 matches probably.
Yeah, and then we are supposed to cover a little bit of Serie A, and then we can go on the next section. So where are we gonna start? With the name of new king, we can go to England, I guess.
Mm, yeah, we can start from there. Aston Villa won against Southampton, and Fulham actually won against Nottingham Forest, and like both of the teams, Fulham and Nottingham, they're like newcomers
Yeah,
from this
promoted
league actually,
from yeah.
promoted side, and we discussed about it the signings of players, and it did not make any sort of sense
Well, as
till
long
now.
as they're making sense out of it, it's fine for especially for Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah. True, but you know, it does, I don't actually connect all the dots, or probably I'm missing something. I don't know.
I don't know if they have just signed it
Hmm.
on a random after a random beer night or something. Um,
Uh,
it's just so odd. I've never seen something like that.
yeah, me neither. But Fulham is doing well.
Yeah,
Um,
Fulham. If you're talking about signing, they've done really well.
yeah, there were some selective signings actually, and their striker, what's his name? I forgot. He's doing well.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic, yeah. I think he scored that match right now.
I guess so. He's doing fairly well, and it's very
Not in that match, but still he was doing probably 3, 4 goals in first 6, 7 matches. It's great actually.
yeah. And
Um,
and just a quick question on Aston Villa because I was seeing them and they're not as good as say last season.
Last season, right? Yeah, there were probably few take on that actually. Um, we probably discussed about like in our chat, private chat, probably like
Yeah.
Watkins and Coutinho, like they got into each other's way, and especially when Buendia is playing, is like is I don't know like why would he bench him, and there are some other issues like with Mings. I don't know if you heard of it. Like he was benched in the first few matches. There were some issues going on with Steven Gerrard. He did not like Mings' attitude, and Mings was their captain actually.
Yeah, he's one of the
And
leaders at the very
yeah,
least. He's one of the leaders on the team, right? You can't.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And now they're having so many injury issues, and they actually called him back again because there aren't any sort of like option anymore. But they did well against Manchester City. But the problem is that like this sort of if you're playing against Southampton or some other teams, um, they are not like uh, I don't know except for Buendia, they no or sometimes Watkins. Watkins doesn't have this like
skill
spectacular
skill
forms
set,
that he have.
or doesn't have the.
Yeah,
He's more of a. He's fairly hard
no,
work.
yeah, well, sort of like Granit Xhaka types of
Yeah.
player, but he opens up position for other players like Buendia,
Hmm.
and but the problem is that like it's hard to break down teams,
Yep.
especially like these days. Like we saw with five substitution, and it's like there was this interesting video actually from Tifo IRL. I don't know if you have watched it. It's like about if running too much is like
Oh, right.
matters or something,
Right. I
something
probably
like
did.
that.
I probably did.
Yeah, that said something like there were some research going on in German footballs about that actually, and the thing is that like the conclusion is that like um, if you run randomly, it doesn't matter. So the problem is that like the teams that
Ask Juan
they have
Roman recall
actually,
me.
yeah. Also, like Bielsa's team, they outrun their opponents like 30. Yeah, he was there for like 30 games, and they outrun their opponents more than like 20 or 15 games. I don't know, but but it's
I do remember with Tito Villanova, he just took over as coach, and the first thing he said, if you're running too much, that means your units are not close together and your passing lanes are kind of blocked because and that means
yeah,
that you're out of shape, especially on
yeah.
attack.
That is another thing. Like sometimes it how can I say, like in this research, the German teams who used to have balls, they are running a little bit
Yep.
lesser than the one they don't have balls because like they are covering too much spaces. So that's another issue. Like
And also just reminding an interview from Sami Khedira when he started in German football, right? That they are
yeah,
normally trained to run without balls, uh, and that's sometimes me as someone who likes the ball needs a purpose to run. I probably couldn't do it, or any other. I could think of any other people who like the ball itself and doesn't know getting the ball or touching the ball, just running around. It's brutal.
I don't know. Like when I saw like I discussed about it in our last episode or the episode before, like that six division match I watched.
Yep.
um they were sort of like it like in the middle spaces, like in the big circle. Both of the team are pressing too much to each other like
Squeezing
there
space.
aren't any sort of squeezing spaces, and there were some like 1v1 battles going on with like wingers, and everyone is like moving a lot. So um but they are not like losing shapes. That's another thing, like with German football. And I don't know, like this researcher was only performed in German football. Probably with the English and other teams it will get different results.
For sure.
And
For sure.
it's also, I guess, depends on playing styles and coaches and everything. But
Yeah.
still, like there was some sort of like an idea about that, like if you're running that much.
And
So
it's
it's like,
also important. Sorry to interrupt. It's
yeah,
not just on, when you're defending. Its shape is important. It's also important when
yeah,
you're attacking.
yeah, true. We discussed about that match actually last week, Dortmund versus Manchester City. When Dortmund made this change, like they picked they changes their striker and put another center backs, and they lost their shapes. And after that, actually, City was able to attacking, and City scored two goals after the that actually substitution. So shapes is like, I guess like nowadays is more important, like space and shape. It's like
It was always, to be honest. Uh,
nowadays it's more like yeah, I saw some like games from 2008 Euro recently actually. um, there
2008.
were, Yeah, 8. Yeah,
Okay.
that Spanish team won the
Yeah,
Luis Aragon.
Aragonés. Yeah.
So yeah, the thing is that like I saw like even at the time the people were like giving away spaces, but they get away with it, like with those sort of things. And nowadays you will get like really punished. We will discuss some matches, like some space thing happened in recent
Yeah.
friendly. It's not friendly, right? This
Yeah, it is.
Nations League.
Uh, uh,
Nations League is
it's
not.
glorified
Uh,
friendlies.
yeah, but yeah, like what I was trying to say, like teams like um, Aston Villa or Newcastle, if they are playing against teams like Fulham or some other teams who are struggling for battles, and they will go all the way for you. Um, like the match against Everton versus West Ham match. West Ham could not actually break it down, and for from the counter attack, Everton actually scored, and they were actually causing more problem without ball. So that's another thing. Like you need a player who can actually breaks down, and for Aston Villa, unfortunately, Buendia is not like that much in form, like like the last season, but still, is better option than Felipe Coutinho now.
Oh, I could not believe why Buendia. That's their best player. He was not playing for regularly. Anyway, not going
Yeah,
into Steven Gerrard's and his personal choice options. Coming back to West Ham. West Ham been
no,
not doing well.
I don't understand. They have two like brilliant strikers. Skamaka is like
I
I
have
saw him moving against English defenders today. It's like like when he gets the long balls, like he does anything to get hold on that ball, like and
he's such
try
a
create
such a
spaces
tall
for the
guy,
wingers.
such a tall
Yeah,
guy with a lot
yeah,
of
really strong.
reach. Yeah,
Like
he's very strong.
I
Yeah,
saw Maguire like trying to like I
it's
don't
very
know
strong. Yeah,
push him or yeah, like he was holding it on. Like it's hard to
hard to
explain those sort of
dispossess. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He can bring others into the game. So that there is my question. If you have that kind of striker, you need very
yeah,
good wingers, right?
yeah.
May,
But they have midfielders like Paqueta right now. I don't understand why it's not working. And they have Declan Rice. It's like one of the best midfield, like for the midfield teams.
I mean, in name, yes.
Yeah, in names. But
Yeah.
like given that like Newcastle team or Aston Villa, those are their immediate rivals, right?
Right.
Um, the thing is that like
I
they
don't
are
see any
so much
chemistry. And
underperforming.
second thing about Paqueta, because I like him in Brazilian team,
Yeah,
but he's so much of flair, and he's a big guy, big lad. I'm not questioning his work, but he's not as hardworking. One, second, that West Ham team needs a lot of hardworking midfielders. They're like almost like laborers, you know, bunch of laborers who labor down the shift. Paqueta seems like all of a sudden is a little bit pricey, shiny Ferrari out on that parking lot, and also I don't think on the chemistry level because it's all about West Ham. I don't know. He's not going to continue dominate the game every game, right?
yeah.
So it's going to be very tough
No,
and
yeah. Last season they always tried to find a way to one or two goals,
counter
and
attack and
yeah,
goal. But Paqueta is
and also like they
not
were good
the
in set pieces last season.
yeah. And Paqueta is not. He's a good passer. He's a good
Mhm.
dribbler, but he's not very
Yeah.
fast in terms of transition. So I understand the player quality, but I don't think it's a good match.
Yeah, true. Another thing is that like so much attention on Bowen, um, but I like so far I don't see any eye-catching performances. He is like he has some good numbers actually up until this season, but still it's not like it's not how can I say game-changing performance or anything.
Yeah, it's so far it's been very mundane from him.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah,
someone who popped up, hardworking guy, goes into 18-yard box and pops up and strikes something out, but he's not been there anymore. He's not
yeah,
as efficient even in finding others and trying to make that run. I don't know what's going on with them. I hope they find a way because I like David Moyes. I don't want to see him
yep,
getting sacked.
yeah. So am I. But let's move on to other games, right? Which
Yeah,
are,
sure. If there
uh,
are
I guess,
many,
not much. Like Tottenham versus Leicester, it was an interesting game.
it is.
At some like it was like even in the beginning of second half,
I think
Leicester was in the game, and
yeah, second half was even more entertaining.
yeah, and suddenly I went somewhere and like I came back. I saw that like at 90 minutes probably it's like already 6-2 or this number.
So
Um,
Son,
so
Son,
comeback.
yeah, exactly. Is he one of the finest players that ever produced in Asian countries in terms of consistency at high level?
Yeah.
It's hard to say though,
Well,
because there
yeah,
are so
it's hard
many.
to say
Yeah,
Nakamura or
Hidetoshi Nakata was a huge,
Nakata, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
back in 98, 99,
yeah.
in Lazio and Parma, and also a bit of
Uh,
others.
Kagawa was also like a
Had a
good
good
player.
stint, but Ali Dai was in Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Oh yeah, there Park Ji-sung in Man United.
Yeah. I would say like there will be a tie between Jisung and uh,
Son Heung-min.
Son. Yeah.
But yeah,
Thing is that
different positions, right?
different profiles. Yeah.
Yeah,
But Son like Park for Park is like how can I say he's sort of like a flair, and I remember um, I guess Morino or some other coaches. Oh no, it was Ferguson. He was
Ferguson. Yeah,
telling that like he has probably three lungs, and there were a viral video like 2-3 weeks ago from Barca versus United
Man
match,
United.
like the second, yeah, second one,
2011
11,
UCL
yeah, final, yeah.
final. Yeah,
Whenever like Park was pressing Messi
hmm
all the way down and everywhere probably,
yeah,
and only one time he actually did not press, and that time actually Lionel Messi scored that incredible goal. So that actually tells so much things.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry, not Park. Sorry, you mean it's been great. Just he was from bench, coming back and scored a fantastic three goals. Um,
And
but
there will be some players, I would say, like next World Cup, and especially how Germany is playing. And Japan has like some, I don't
interesting,
know,
interesting players.
interesting player. Yeah,
We'll save it when we go to German
yeah.
analysis.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, Tottenham, would they be happy? Are they seriously going for to challenge
Uh,
the top two at
they
least?
are they are doing actually okay. I would say, but problem there will be some problem because the they will face some problems, especially around the World Cup time. Normally, it does like December, January is a high time for English teams uh, because of the matches, amount of matches, and everything. And thing is that like they are so much solely depending on Hurricane to create something. Um, they probably need a midfielder or someone like deep playing from the deep, and both of like whoever is playing there, and they are not creating anything. Also, like Emerson Royal or who's playing in the left. Pace is actually doing okay.
Yeah.
Um, he's taking corner from with both feet. That's another issue. I don't know if he's deliberately
Just
doing that
following
actually.
Dembele, I guess.
Yeah, it's so natural. It's
With
and
certain
also
people, yeah,
yeah, also so shocking. Like to how can you line up your defense? You can shoot with both foot.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
another issue. But
I think
given that
what
actually,
actually impressed me is Holberg,
yeah,
Hobier.
Holberg,
Yeah, exactly.
Holberg, yeah,
He's been very hardworking guy, obviously under Conte. But I guess
yeah.
Conte brought so far the best out of him, whatever I've seen.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like if you remember that Euro, he was actually getting the ball and like trying to push, well, like push a little bit further down the front,
Mhm.
and then pass the balls to the wingers or to the strikers or to Ericsson or sometime whoever playing there. The thing is that like he's doing it in those sort of things, and he was also like this season he's also like breaking down plays and
Yep.
pressing up, especially in the middle side. Actually, they are getting a lot of
He's
balls
actually
there.
I mean, I've seen prop few games live, and I've seen him very
Yeah,
ferocious with. It's been, it's as if
yeah. I
Antonio
last
Conte.
season,
Yeah, go ahead.
he did not have this sort of confidence at
Yeah,
all, and it seems like he's playing almost as like a, Conte.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. At least at the
So
attitude level.
yeah, like probably like a similar position and similar work rate and stuff like that. Actually,
Mhm.
um, yeah, that actually sums up everything about him. And but only one thing missing from him is like some long balls to the wingers and to Harry Kane, and that would be like the final touch, like.
Yeah,
But I don't see him doing that actually. But
no.
never seen that.
But yeah,
So
there are a lot of players with limitations. But if
yeah,
someone is putting his heart out on that, with effort,
yeah.
you can't ask more than that. Um, but yeah, Tottenham looking very good. I don't. Was Arsenal playing?
They're actually playing better than Chelsea and Liverpool.
For sure.
And if they continue to do that,
I
actually,
think that they
and
would be
one of
the
those,
only challengers with Arsenal.
yeah, and also, yeah, that would be actually,
When is the next
also
East London
one of
derby?
these game. It's in, it's not it's like the North London.
Oh, sorry,
No,
not London derby. I think it's
yeah,
in
it's
the week
next
before.
weekend,
Yeah, exactly. That would be
the first
Cracker.
weekend.
That would be Cracker.
Yeah, it would be fun match actually. But yeah, that's like they have only like 1 point difference, I guess, like 17 and 18 or something like that. Actually,
Yeah. Uh, so can we move our attention
yeah,
from England to Italy?
yeah. We did not talk about like two other games.
On EPL, English Premier League.
Yeah,
Do you want to
yeah.
talk about it?
Not much actually. Like Arsenal won against
Oh,
Brentford.
I
Uh,
deprived you of talking about Arsenal. That's like punishable. Let's go ahead.
yeah, not much actually to talk about
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Brentford last season.
Enjoy your win. And
Last season, in the first match, actually, it was against Brentford. Probably they shocked Arsenal, but this season actually it did not work. Actually, Arsenal from the first minute to last day did not give any sort of chances.
hmm
And from Brentford, it was like probably a red card.
hmm
Um, yeah, there was a red card, and then everything went south. And but there were some goals, like the first one from Saliba, he scored again, and there was another goal from yeah, Gabriel Jesus. I don't know if you have seen that actually.
yeah,
um, and brilliant cross from Granit Xhaka. um, I guess he's playing probably
he's best
uh,
for Arsenal.
yeah. Yeah, and I haven't actually seen him playing like this, at least for Arsenal. Like
Yeah, I've seen it a bit
before,
in Switzerland, not in Arsenal jersey.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Also, who else is playing well? Yeah, like every time Partey is there, the midfield looks like more stable. Like they need a backup actually
Yeah,
of Thomas Partey. That's it actually. I don't have anything to add much.
I think they were
Oh yeah,
targeting. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I forgot actually. Fabio Vieira played because Martin Odegaard was injured,
Right,
and he was. I don't see any difference actually of
Odegaard. Yeah,
consistency of performance. Yeah.
yeah. That's the
Um,
other thing. I think Arteta is building a very good squad.
yeah, and the most I guess take from that actually this player, what's his name? Um, he actually was debuted that match. Nuabi or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah, Nuari or
Nowhere.
something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Uh,
He's only like 15 and a half years old.
Yeah.
um, but like let's see, we that's another thing, like Wenger like debut so many players, like Fabregas and stuff like that. So that's another issue, like let's see.
Well,
A
Fabregas, Nasri. There's a lot of younger.
lot of players, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shall we move from
Yeah.
England to Italy? As we were speaking, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. Let me double check. I think Napoli is doing very well.
Yeah, they actually stopped
That's what I'm
AC
going.
Milan.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, but I think they're
Only team to do that
at
actually
the,
so far.
top of the table with after 7 games.
Yeah.
How fascinating is that? I mean, obviously with Napoli we're talking about, but this time it seems, or it seems like there would be something different at least. I hope.
Yeah, and another thing is that like there were some changes, especially with like this center back.
Kim.
Mid, no, no, not Kim. The AC Milan center back,
Oh,
Ayer or something.
are you talking about that game, AC Milan versus Napoli?
Yeah, yeah. He was substituted
Yeah, Kerr. Yeah,
after
yeah,
he.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah.
The
So there were
Danish
some.
guy.
Yeah, they could not actually keep up with Napoli, and there were some yellow card issues, and they had to change those players. And they're like they technically actually folded against Napoli because so far we have seen that like Milan has sort of
Always
like
stays in the game.
yeah, they are sort of like always in the game, and they always try to find a way to score at least in at last. And Olivier Giroud still he scored
Yeah,
anyway.
it's been incredible. It's been
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
But
There was a lot of players were also missing, like in the starting lineup at least. You know, you don't have that Rafael Leao um, and
Rashpedori was playing as a
as a
false nine
false
or
nine in for Napoli. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I guess like Giovanni Simeone came in and then scored. It was
the
brilliant
winner.
actually. Like,
And not just that. I
yeah,
mean, before that, he was protecting the ball and put that
yeah,
ball outside. I think was it Mario Rui, fantastic cross, but again Simeone converted that with a beautiful header. I mean, I'm very happy to see Giovanni Simeone doing really well. He deserves everything what is getting. Uh,
yeah. Also, like that side is like really strong. The right side of
Napoli,
Napoli,
yeah,
yeah,
Varashelli,
it's
and
not to, yeah, it's not to defend that actually, and um, but
also
Milan
Zielinski
had like
is in great form.
yeah, Zelensky is like I don't know, like um, uh, he's controlling everything. But even if he substituted or something like that or injured, there are like two players who can actually play it from the deep and with a different setup, they can actually still run the games
Yeah.
and uh,
I think that's what
make something out of
missing
it.
the what in the previous Napoli teams.
Yeah. So like if we see Napoli is winning this season, I wouldn't be surprised. But the
No,
thing is that like
but
for
then
Napoli is
it's
still
too early.
early.
It's too early. Yeah,
Yeah.
and same goes for
So
Atalanta. I think they're
yeah.
joint on the top in the points. They're
Yeah.
doing fairly well so far, and
But
they get
for
a
Atlanta, it
very
will be
important
different
win
because
against Roma.
yeah, exactly. Roma is actually doing not doing well. They lost probably game in Europa League, and then this happened actually.
Well, I can take it against Atalanta. I think what happened is that they're too dependent on Paulo Dybala or Zaniolo to produce something
Yeah.
individually.
But Zaniolo is out of form so far. Like
Is
he's
not as good.
missing so
It's
many
not good.
goals actually. Yeah,
Uh, it's all about Dybala, and the moment Dybala is injured for when he was warming up, then you need your striker, especially Tammy Abraham, to step up and stuff like that, which didn't happen.
yeah.
And
Tammy is also missing.
and also the midfield is not working. The Cristante, the Pellegrini, not
Yeah,
really.
but moving on, I actually had some hope for Roma this season, but with the injury issues and they have like fairly small squad.
Yeah.
That's another issue, and there aren't any sort of like exciting players from academy as well. So, like, at least so far I know, that's another issue
Okay,
actually.
let's go back to big two that's suffering. Juventus.
Is
Uh,
there a big two, really?
well, there is. If you look at the calendar, except the last season, Milan winning it,
Yeah,
who else won it for so long? Juventus and Inter Milan in
India.
between.
Yeah.
So both of them are struggling for different reason. Where should I start? Juventus,
Yeah. Let's start from Juventus and like
Monza.
they can like they're in a situation like they cannot even fire Allegri. So that's a funny situation actually.
it's almost
Probably.
like stuck with him at this point.
Yeah.
But
Also, he's not like like Allegri brought out some players, but I don't know for some reason he's not giving chances for the players they have because they have pretty much big squad compared to other teams. Um, and their academy is like they have
they
players,
have
I
some
guess, so far I know.
academy players. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And some of the young players are not getting chances under
I
Allegri.
saw under 19 Juventus team played against probably some English team, and they were like really fast and completely opposite of this team actually.
Yeah, slow and sluggish. And also, I should I point out one thing. in this team except Angel Di Maria and Chiesa. Both are injured, and one was red carded. I don't think anyone is there to take on players.
Yeah, that's another issue.
But then
And Vlahovic is
your project is based on 34-year-old Di Maria and injury prone Chiesa. Then you got to ask yourself a question.
not injury prone. Like his injury was probably at the end of last season, and they knew that like he wouldn't be available up until 2023.
Well, Chiesa had
Um,
issues
as
though before even
Yeah, he had long like
lapses.
there like yeah.
He's a
So
fantastic player, I understand, but we still have to have some kind of backup. And they let
yeah,
go
and
Dybala.
they had this yeah in this position they already had like Kulusevski, but they let him go last season. I don't understand that actually, like, but I don't understand so many decisions actually like with these players and staffs and so many things.
It's so
And
boring to see
Vlahovic
them.
is like looking,
It's very,
yeah.
very
I,
boring.
I don't actually watch them even like they are losing.
Monza.
Good for Monza,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, it's a great thumbs up. But like it's like
By the way, I like the Monza shirt. They're very, very colorful.
well, I've been actually thinking about buying River Plate T-shirt
Okay.
um,
Which season?
because they are not doing well, and I seem to bring good luck to teams.
Okay. Uh, on that
Uh,
case, I mean, we can talk about a lot of other teams, but coming back to Juventus, that's one of them. Obviously, not doing well. Do you think they have to sack Allegri because right now they're sitting in eighth or ninth position, and if they
they
miss
don't have
top
to, but
four,
Um, yeah, there was like still time. If you remember, they were sitting in 7 or 8 position in December probably last season. And Italian league is like really nail biting, especially
if everyone is
this
bad, everyone is
January.
bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, January and February, especially these 2 months actually, with all those European games and plus actually. The cup matches came on and
Yeah.
everyone is giving everything like they have and but
So
I
how
think
much
they
is the fault of Allegri? This horrible run of Juventus.
actually like last season we can understand
It
like
was
he had
transition.
to
Yeah.
work with what he had, but this season he didn't have to actually, because there were so many players and so many players in the bench and they are not getting any sort of chances. So like if you are playing the same 11 again and again and in repeat, and even though they are not playing well they are like still there, how can you expect something like that? And also like
Some of the dead weight has
mm,
been moved on, such as Arthur Melo. Well, they brought Pogba himself. Anyway, not going there.
yeah, and another thing is that they still have like Moisekin, you know, um, as a
Striker.
striker. They can actually play his one of his favorite position like 4-4-2 with Vlahovic and Moisekin, and we both of the striker they can actually like pin the like you can play like plan against around those players, like what you have, but he doesn't seem like have any plan or anything.
Okay.
Um,
Uh, so you still hopeful Juventus getting back into top four?
yeah, they will get back actually. Not top four, but they will be in the fight probably if they
In
like
the
find a
fight
way
for
to
relegation?
fight for top four.
Okay. As-
No,
I had to say that. Coming back from Juventus, the other big team that is suffering is Inter Milan. What's going on with them?
we actually discussed at length. Basically, their midfield is that like Juventus.
But
There is nothing coming out of this game.
is it also because of Inzaghi, Simone Inzaghi? Because every time I see a yellow card, he takes the player off. Like he substituted when they were 1-0 up against Sampdoria. I guess they were 1-0 up, and he Bastoni, I think, got yellow card. He substituted him, and that guy was
But
furious. At
yeah, and
31st minute,
another thing is Bastoni probably is one of their best player right now. The thing is that like with Brozovic is
Brozovic is
complete.
horrible in terms of controlling the
Yeah,
game.
but a good thing is that like I saw him playing with Croatia this yesterday. Well, the day before yesterday for me. No,
Against
but
Denmark.
yeah, he was actually
Okay.
doing well. So maybe the form will come again. But last season, nobody was passing him, even the season before, especially. Uh, and there were talk like there were links with Barcelona and everything. Um,
With Brozovic.
yeah,
Ooh,
you
that's
didn't
what.
know? There
No,
was a talk
well,
actually.
I don't know. I well in Barcelona and last 2 years it's been everywhere. I was surprised that you're not being linked with them or me.
The thing is that like they were actually thinking about buying him last winter transfer. Uh, it was the last time they thought about it. But when they uh, got some sort of agreement with Frank Casey, they actually like they didn't want they did not want went there actually. But another thing is that like with Brozovic. Um, he used to have this confidence, like to make those tackles, and now he's getting a little bit slower.
Slower, yeah.
Uh, Yeah,
He,
and
he
he's
almost
making
needs
those.
another person to cover him.
Yeah, that's why where actually Paredes would have been actually a nice addition, other than Romelu Lukaku, and you have to give a little bit chance to this guy Correa, uh,
And Zeko.
especially.
Um,
Yeah,
and
Zeko is not like he's well, like when he's like playing for 10 minutes against some European team. Okay, it's okay, but he will need some sort of a runner,
obviously,
Um,
and also the other thing about Inter, which is very common with Juventus, is that they don't have any other except like last season they had Perisic who took on one on one. They don't have anyone to take on.
no,
So that's another thing.
yeah. Also,
So you have a very with respect, I don't have anything against Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu, but they're at best mediocre players. Uh,
yeah, true. They had some
two
interesting games actually.
two players at the same position. Yeah.
When Inter was doing well. They had an interesting game. Had not an like so many interesting games last season.
Well,
Yeah,
what was
but the
happening,
problem is that like
and also not using Gozens. I don't understand Inzaghi.
Gozen probably could have actually take 1v1s those situations because he's a good runner actually.
He's not even being used.
Yeah, I thought like he will get like
Yes,
give more
especially
chances to Guzan.
especially after
Yeah,
leaving the
Perisic left. Yeah.
Perisic exactly, and yeah, that's all strange. So Inter right now, I guess, very close to where Juventus are. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, it's they're not doing well.
Yeah, they need to produce something from the midfield. It's like really ordinary midfield, and if teams are sitting back, and they can actually hurt them, even
Well,
throughout the middles.
what do you expect with Gagliardini and Ambrosio with that midfield? While Brozovic is struggling and Barella is huffing and puffing, and all you have is Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu to pass sideways. I mean, all you have is Dumfries. running up and down, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like also, Inter doesn't have any shape, like especially when they're defending. So when they have like, you can see bodies around this area, but those bodies are like, if teams are playing like overload one side and then switch the play, and they look really vulnerable, especially because like they have only one player or two players like in one side, and they try to overload,
In
like
in the right,
more overload the opposition. Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes in the left as well. Like I don't know, like they have this tendency, and I guess like it's because of the players or quality of players, I guess.
And also, if someone is playing well and getting a yellow card, and if someone is getting substituted right away because of yellow card, that's why statistics doesn't really drive your game. Because if someone is playing well and if still has a yellow card, you still should play him. Because Inzaghi is too kind of concerned about him getting red card. He just takes off, and that changes everything about intensity and everything. And I think stat cannot drive your game and game plan. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
you need to call the player and say, make sure you don't make any kind of tackle, but that cannot happen. Just a yellow card, and everyone is kind of saying, okay, this is my. Like, say, if I don't want to play anymore, all I have to do is get a yellow card, and he's going to substitute me. So it's like that. I don't know how to explain. This is strat driving crazy. But yeah, other than that, there are some interesting games, especially Fiorentina getting the win. I think can't remember who was it, but
um Verona.
Verona. Yes,
Yeah.
Fiorentina getting win against Verona, but Udinese. Shout out to them. They're doing very well. Uh, they're in third spot at this point, uh, and doing very well. And I was very impressed with the likes of Roberto Pereira, Beto, and obviously Delafeu, our ex La Masia product. Any thoughts on Udinese's?
um well, Udinese could be a, how can I say, a difficult team
Yeah,
in their days, especially.
this team is running.
Yeah,
Like, and that their players look super fit. I don't know. It's
yeah,
hard to
true.
play against them. Uh, but yeah, Fiorentina is not really doing well. Same as Solo. They're down at 10-11. But other than that, I mean, Verona obviously is suffering. Some Sampdoria is suffering too. Uh, but there's some interesting teams up there.
Lazio is doing okay.
All
They
all
beat,
right so far.
yeah, they beat probably Roma last tire.
Yeah, and also Cremonese beat 4-0. Uh,
Yeah,
and they have some easier games, and those are important for them to win, especially against Spezia and teams like that. Um, but yeah, uh,
yeah,
that's
true.
that's about the Serie A. It's been interesting. Uh,
Yeah, true. But let's see, like with international breaks and like this sort of things, it changes players. Some gets injured and some gets their forms back.
okay.
Especially Raspadori.
Yeah, he's a good player. But it just needs to produce enough
Yeah,
consistently. Shall we move from Italy?
yeah,
Should we cover some of the international friendlies?
yeah. Before that, I guess like Bangladesh. We can talk about Bangladesh, like
Oh yeah,
Bangladesh women.
please
Um,
shout out to the Bangladesh women national team for winning the South American Championship, right?
yeah. So I saw their matches actually. They played so far. Like they played against India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, not Sri Lanka, or some other team. I forgot actually. Um, Whoever they they only conceded one goal in the whole tournament at final,
So how many
and
games were there?
I guess
They
like
had to
four
play.
or five games, like three, two or three group stage matches. I guess
Okay.
three, and then there is a semi-final and then final. So like five matches, and the thing is that like this team, the team was shaping sort of like a 4-2-2-2 formation, and with like
I actually have some of the game results. So first game, Bangladesh beat against Maldives 3-0. Uh, Not going to say who's. It was held in Nepal.
yeah,
So the second match day, Bangladesh beat Pakistan 6-0. Uh, Third game day was against India 3-0 win. Semi-final was versus Bhutan. I guess it was 8-0.
yeah,
And the only goal was considered in the final against Nepal, but it
yeah.
was 3-1.
Actually, two best team played in final, and it's sort of like one of those tournaments. The field was okay so far if you compare to um, like, well, the quality we have sometimes. The field was okay, but the problem is that like the playing in Nepal in this altitude, it was a problem, especially. And one good thing is that like this coach Gulam Rabbani, he sort of knows his starting 11. You can see that like their jersey number is like sinking like from 1 to 11. That's it. So you can see their starting 11. There were some players, especially this goalkeeper. She was doing okay, and I forgot her name actually. Let me check. I cannot find anything actually.
Yeah, it's hard to find them.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was interesting to see like when they were defending, they were actually they were attacking sort of like right now how Bayern was attacking. We discussed that actually in our previous video.
So my ignorance, I actually didn't see any game as the time wasn't available. But you're talking about the defending and highlights.
mm, yeah, not like only highlights. Like it depends like on the opposition. But the problem is that like they're the their wing backs are like pushing too much because the wingers are acquiring those half spaces,
Okay.
um, and they are attacking directly to the box, and the two holding midfielders and two center backs are leaving back, and uh, that was a problem like when they were actually playing against Nepal, because there's this player I really liked. Probably her name is wow, I forgot her name as well. It was like right in my brain, but I cannot remember.
That's okay.
But yeah, but this winger, she was like Anita. Yeah, I remember Anita Bosnet. She was actually finding those spaces, half spaces. But again, other than that, like no teams even like in even I guess like India, even they could not actually break through because like they're pushing so hard, and like like they're pushing through toward the middle. So like other team was like pushing towards the wings and trying to attack from there, but they were actually outnumbered there because of the position. And um, especially I guess her name is Sanjida or something. She was like brilliant. Probably was the player of the tournament. So that's another thing. There were so many performers who they can actually shift the play and like this 2-2 formation, like the front two, they were actually interchanging position and creating more spaces between the center backs and left backs, and they are actually like really clinical. So it's sort of like an all-round performance from top
So
to bottom, actually.
question here for you. As you're talking about spaces, is it
Mm,
fairly easy to find spaces? Oh, well, obviously with 8-0, I can understand against Bhutan they might have
yeah.
had acre of
No,
space.
not against Nepal actually. And there were situations like Bangladesh scored probably 2 goals, and then
There
there
have been
was situations like,
pin back.
yeah, they actually Nepal scored one, and their whole crowd went riot, and they were actually like that actually since the beginning. So it was electrified probably after that goal, and they Bangladesh managed to score third goal actually, and then actually it was okay, but there were the problem with Nepal is that like Nepal play with their white players,
Hmm.
and Bangladesh is like playing more centrally.
Yep.
So with pressing, there was some problems because like before that, other teams were like trying to play centrally, then they moved to, yeah, wings, and by that time actually like these teams have players, wingers or wingbacks or whoever covering that position. But with Nepal, is like they are pressing this midfield area like with like at numbers like 5 or 6 players in a row, and they are pressing in the midfield area. This like area between D box and big circle, this small area. So, and from there actually they 4 or 5 players goes out in a to attack in a row. So it's hard to defense against them.
Yeah. If they're
Given that like
if
they
you're not
have
really
narrow,
press
narrow,
resistance. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So like it was stressed, so that's how actually they were like Nepali girls were causing a lot of problems, and it was a technically an interesting game as well. I would really recommend.
So yeah, no, I'll go back and watch it and come back. But as you're speaking about, it's that the defensive side of the midfield or the midfield itself was being pressed hard, and that's not easy to cope with, especially if you're been building something for the entire tournament and you're getting totally
Yeah,
different kind of pressing from a different opposition, right? So how does that impact on the defensive lines or even the goalkeeper? Are there more of back passes, and coming out of back, or is it just hey who some kickings from back line?
no, actually, it was more like they both try to squeeze that sort of position. And thing is that like as Nepal was stressed out, like the whole field, and they are when they are attacking, they try to squeeze it down when they are defending,
Yeah.
and but like Bangladesh's main target is those half spaces between the how can I say, like the wingers were like wingbacks are like how can making
in,
those wides,
Inverted
and
wingbacks.
not inverted. They were like going sometimes overlapping. It
Okay.
depends actually. Like that, they are not like playing, like a certain way. It depends on the match situation, and they are like really clever in this regards. Like they're not always attacking, not always defending, and always there were players like who's covering those half spaces, especially. And that was the actually, and they are getting so many second balls, like winning second balls in the half spaces, like these vertical half spaces in front of the box. So yeah, that actually changed the game. And how can I say, uh, Nepali like attack mostly depends on like stressing the opponent. And the thing is that like with how can I say, like sometimes actually like these defensive midfielders, two defensive midfielders, they are actually like working as a, sometimes as a wing back or full back or something like that. Actually, they are covering that space, so that's why like they were still in the game. And because of the like because they had they these wingers need support except for that girl actually. They needed more players, and more players were like pushing towards the wings and creating a vacuum in the middle, and that's how actually Bangladesh scored two goals in the first half.
That sounds like a fascinating game. I mean, tactically at
Yeah,
least.
it is actually technically.
And I'm pretty sure
It
there
was.
was intensity was there. And
Yeah, also like what we see in when some teams are playing in Bolivia or Venezuela, like this heights, it's hard to play those areas, and the balls are bouncing little bit like uneven sometimes because of the field as well. It's not
yeah,
like with turf and everything.
no,
So
it's not easy. Yeah,
uh,
it's
yeah,
actually
it's not
actually
easy.
like almost like Bolivia or Ecuador in altitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Well, again, big shout out to the girls of Bangladeshi team. And most of them are coming from their own struggling stories, not going into there.
Yeah, actually, like yes, one of them actually sold probably her mother sold their only how can I say
Belongings.
property or something,
Yeah,
yeah, belongings to come there, go there, and to win something, and it's like so fascinating.
yeah. Some
But
of them.
the thing is that like we have players like if you remember a few years back, like under 15 sub championship, our team actually won. But those players, like some of them actually were there was a summer school in Manchester United. 27 players were admitted, um, but it was only for like 1 or 2 months, and they came back, and then nobody actually knows what happened to those players actually, because like if you like some of them actually should be right now in the national team uh, because of their age, but like we always have players like them that, but problem is that like they're not they're not nurtured well.
Yeah, it's they're dealing with something else in their life and not being helped.
Yeah,
But yeah, please check out some of the stories are really really inspiring. If you really like football, it's all about some of the inspiring stories, and there's none other than some of the Bangladeshi girls have what they've done uh, in order to play, and then obviously to win it on the field. Um, nothing, nothing less than uh, wonder, I would say. Um, shall we move to something else?
yeah. We can move to the glorified international friendlies. I could say there were some games yesterday. I only watched once, one game actually,
Did you enjoy it?
but
First of all,
it was the commentator was saying the battle of tents.
Battle of
Uh,
Tens.
Yeah, it's called. It was the game with Croatia against Denmark.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, Battle of Tens because of Modric and Eriksson. Eriksson actually scored a screamer.
Yeah, all the goals were actually fantastic goals.
Yeah, brilliant goals, and this fullback actually impressed me. I guess Sosa his name, from Croatia.
Yep.
And Croatia right now have some new runners, and the team looks a little bit better than they have like the last year.
Yep. It's very interesting how they played against Denmark. I think they were brilliant, and that looks promising what coming into the World Cup, and not good for Canada because if Croatia is playing well, that's not good news for Canada.
But there are other interesting game. I actually watched.
How can you miss Germany versus Hungary?
Well, I was watching the other one, Italy versus England, and I was actually rooting for Italy for some reason, and Italy won. Well, nobody actually was rooting for England, I guess.
Except for Gareth Southgate or even he.
I don't know. The squad selection, he was because of it. Actually, he was under pressure. He chose Harry Maguire over Ben Stokes, and how he's playing for Arsenal right now. He can play as a centre back in the right side, it's centre back, and also as a right back or something like that. But he's not even in the talk, and Maguire was there. Maguire actually was really cautious up
Yeah,
until that goal,
yeah.
uh, and
He
Maguire actually have
doesn't look confident though.
no. He has actually a big passing range, but his passing range was limited in that game because of like he doesn't want to make any sort of mistakes, So like he was under pressure as well, um, I guess.
But in terms of England,
But
do you really rate this team
no, I don't think. That's why they went down in the second tier, relegated to.
to the glorified friendly second tires?
Yeah.
Um, I did see a little bit of glimpse of Italy, and they have missed quite a bit of chance. I mean, England are
Actually,
fortunate.
Italy is different team when they are playing a tournament or something like that. Like two, 3 games tournament, they are actually okay. But if they're playing sort of like long-term leagues or something like that, then it's their old issues. That's how they actually managed not to be in the World Cup. Also, they missed Euro, right? Yeah, the last time, before last time, 2016.
Okay.
Um,
Anything?
Actually,
Go ahead.
I don't have anything to add. Right, Denmark made a mistake. Whenever they are getting balls, like they could have actually, if you remember last Euro, like they were attacking fast, right? That thing is missing in this Denmark team.
Or
And
at
they are
least in
actually
this
like,
game.
yeah, in this game actually, when they are getting that ball, and they were about to try counter attacks. Um, there weren't any sort of like motivation or anything. They are back passing the ball right away. That's another thing.
Yeah. Okay. I was watching Hungary versus
Mm.
Germany, and I thought I really think Hungary should have. It would have been a fun team to watch if they were qualifying
Yeah,
for the World Cup. I
yeah,
mean, Hungary
exactly, exactly my thought actually.
was Germany. Germany looked good in second half. That's because Hungary let them play. But yeah, they didn't have any kind of the first half. Hungary almost squeezed them, which is okay. And I think the goal was, to me, I would say it's a fluke goal, but it was just like a back heel, side heel sort of from the corner. Beautiful ball put in the near post, and it was flicked well and went down to the far end. But again, kudos to Hungary how they're playing so far. I mean, it's misfortunate that they're not in the World Cup.
Yeah, true actually. But they actually managed to like whatever happens to the other match, they managed to go to the
Secure,
next
exactly.
yeah, next level. But
And would you be surprised if you're Hansi Flick? Like, would you be worried? I should say.
Germany will probably manage to I don't know.
Because the
Bo-
major thing here in this German team, I think, anytime Germany, except the 2014 one, because everyone was kind of contributing in the goal, and that team was free flowing players, a lot of good technical skill players. Other than that, every German team that done well has very good strikers, or at least efficient strikers. This team doesn't have one.
yeah, true. Um, Muller was playing as a striker this yesterday. Yeah, it's already
Uh,
yesterday for me.
yeah,
Yeah. So
it was like
uh,
almost like false nine, but
yeah, but whenever he's playing, he's sort of like that position with Bayern as well. But thing is that like Werner, they don't have confidence. I don't know, or something like that with Werner. There were actually some German striker, but problem is that like Flick doesn't did not have any enough time to prepare this uh,
players in.
squad. Yeah, because he only had like a year and a half probably, and it's not like enough to build a team.
Yeah,
And
fair to him. Yeah.
yeah, so but like in long term prospect, like there are some, but I would say like to make some sort of like a, how can I say, bold decisions after the World Cup. I would, I don't see him taking those bold decisions before the World Cup, like dropping Muller, Hummels, or some other like
Mm,
Neuer or something.
yep.
But they really need a fast midfield and something creative from that midfield,
Yeah, finishers.
and a genuine finisher. But I don't see other than Timo Werner and Werner, which who is also like not in good form so
Yep.
far.
Uh, Other than that, I've seen Netherlands beating uh, Poland 2-0.
Mm.
Great.
Actually, Netherlands is a good team, and unfortunately, both Barca player Dipe and De Jong is injured. That's an issue
Yeah,
for Barca.
but yeah, brilliant
Also,
finish from Depay. He's. I mean, I don't know if you have seen the goal. I thought it was
yeah, I saw
brilliant.
that
Yeah.
actually. Um, Second one was also nice. Bergwijn or something.
Yeah, Bergwijn.
Someone.
Yeah.
Bergwijn, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was a nice goal actually. Like, and I would say Netherlands should be one of the team who you should eye on or something like that
Exactly.
because
Everyone is talking about Germany or Spain
uh,
or someone else.
I but Netherlands is like I don't know, like except for if Virgil is in form, um, if he gets his form back, and it would be hard to penetrate them as well. And also, like with De Jong sitting on the deep lying position, and was it Bergistan?
Yeah, Bergson. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's like unbelievable. Um, so yeah, he's like unbelievable, and they have fairly good winger, and they can actually also have like play with Gapco, who's not even in the team.
Yep.
Oh, is he? Uh,
It probably was. And also, just to remember, Louis Van Gaal is a very good tournament coach.
yeah, exactly. He's like really good in short tournaments, especially like if you remember when that Manchester United had a good run in the uh, cup matches.
He's actually very good in those sort of
Yeah,
knockout sort of games and
yeah,
stuff like that. So he's
yeah. And yeah, like they got beaten in like semi-final last time, like with him.
I would rate
And
them better than Germany at this point.
yeah, exactly like how they're playing, and this team actually looks solid so far.
Yeah. What about France? There's a huge number of injuries and also a lot of drama going on as there is. Well,
Do you want to go to that drama?
sure, why not?
Yeah, the drama is about what's he say? Mbappe not taking photos because he does not want
Is image
McDonald's to be
image
involved. Yeah,
rights.
yeah, McDonald's to be involved in anything with him. So I don't know, like uh, some pandit was saying that it's up to parents, like if kids are what kids are eating. It's not up to you or me or anyone who can decide, even not even with McDonald's, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
understand.
guess it's just his sponsorship deal or something. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah,
but
probably like he's trying to squeezing money from everywhere so far.
yeah,
It
it's
seems.
been greedy, and also he made some comments about it's all about him. Giroud
Yeah.
scoring. I've never heard Giroud talking too much in the media, but
No,
it's,
he's actually playing well. Even like the before the first goal, he was linking up with both of these attackers, Mbappe, and there were some one two,
Griezmann.
and yeah, they were with Mbappe, and Mbappe missed that chance. Um, also, uh, also with Griezmann, and he was that guy, like the guy we saw in that World Cup, who was receiving balls and trying to make
Yeah,
link up with other players and trying to bring players in the attack.
and
And and Mbappe's goal was like really brilliant.
yeah,
Um,
it was. Also, what I like is the shape of, thanks to some of the injuries that some of the players that had the
New
chance,
players came in
yeah,
actually. Like
had the
it
chance to
was,
play. It was
yeah,
refreshing.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And that's what I said last time when we were talking about like our World Cup prediction or something like that. Because like Southgate and what's his name? Didier Deschamps, Deschamps, right?
Yeah,
So they are so pragmatic; they cannot even see past their superstar or something like that.
yeah.
And
Only injuries saved them. But coming back to, I mean, I don't want to talk about much about.
Humani almost scored a overhead kick.
Yeah,
It was
uh,
brilliant.
it was
If it is, yeah.
such a good player. I want to get out of this French team. There was some other international friendlies going on as well. Have you had the chance to see Brazil versus Ghana?
No, actually, I actually missed that. Actually,
I I
I haven't
s-
watched any South American team yet because like I was had so many stuff to do and missed the Argentina game as well. I don't know
okay.
even the score
Oh,
actually.
I can talk about a little bit about especially Brazil versus Ghana and Argentina game too. Brazil fielded with obviously a lot of talent. There was Paqueta. I think Neymar was playing as a number 10, as a floating role with Vinicius on the left and Richarlison in the center. What I didn't like is obviously Thiago Silva is still there. First half, Ghana didn't even sniff any chance. They were 3-0 up. First goal came from the corner of Rafinha to Marquinhos header goal. A second goal was it's like a I think Neymar finding Richarlison on the top of 18-yard box and he just turned and scored. And Neymar was brilliant, by the way. I mean, he's everywhere. He's one of the treat to watch at this point. He's been so good. Uh, and I guess Neymar is going to be the decisive factor for Brazil, whatever they do. And the third goal came from a free kick as well.
From Neymar.
Yeah, Neymar was involved, and he was fouled. So yeah,
Okay.
and also it was I think it was Richarlison. I thought initially it was Thiago Silva, but second half Ghana came back. Some chances, especially Jordan
Yeah.
Ayew and Andre Ayew. I think Andre Ayew hit the post once. Uh, and some of the link ups and they started to grow and I guess Brazil started to let them play. I don't know what I just saw the highlights, but what struck me is that there's always chance with this Brazilian side if Thiago Silva is playing. because
that's the
it
issue. Like
changes the shape
even
of
yeah, even like Gabriel is not even called to the team. That's I don't understand.
yeah.
Like right now,
You're
forget
talking
about
about
Diego Carlos.
the
Gabriel from
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he's playing well.
He's
With Saliba, he's like he has. They have this solid defense, and like as a left-footed player, especially,
yeah.
and they don't have wing like good fullbacks now,
No, that's
so they need pacey center backs as well,
yeah. They do.
and that's the issue. Like that's the issue with the Brazilian team. They will pass their group easily, and that would be the problem with the teams if they're playing like I don't know Poland or some other teams or some faster teams like Japan. I don't
Yeah.
know who will play
Well,
actually. I remember. I don't remember.
Portugal, Uruguay on that side, and
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Uruguay is spacey, but Uruguay will like give Brazil respect, but Portugal won't. If Portugal is playing, then that would be it. That could be. I don't know because oh yeah, we don't talk about Portugal like enough. I would say because I saw their
thanks to Santos, I guess.
yeah, that's true. There's another coach I don't like, Southgate, Deschamps, and Santos.
Well,
Their
at least
teams, I
Ronaldo
don't
is
know.
there on the
If-
bench to coach.
I don't know. I don't understand this thing actually. Like with these sort of players, you have sort of like blood flowing in your veins, like boiling in your veins when you have like Bernardo Silva, Fernandez, and this midfield, and with Nunez and who
Renato
else? Like I
Sanchez,
can Renato, wow, forgot about even Sanchez. Like
Vitinha,
there are so many players, Vitina, and winger, Jota, who Rafael Leo, whoever. Like in every position they have two players, and Wow Cancelo. Oh my God, it's like World Cup winning squad
obviously,
there.
obviously there. You have
Yeah,
the Manchester City centre back. What is his name? Ruben Diaz,
Ruben Diaz in the yeah.
and the
Is it,
Roma
yeah, it's the
goalkeeper.
all,
It is a winning team
yeah, it's a winning team, and they have Cristiano Ronaldo's all those experience.
as the icing of the cake.
Yeah, and I don't understand this team actually. Like with Santos, I don't. I would really love to see this coach from who was there actually. Like it was probably yeah Paheira, right? This Brazilian coach in the 2004 Euro.
No, it was Luis Felipe Scolari.
Oh, Scolari, yeah. But yeah, like I would love to see him like
I don't.
probably coaching.
Not
No,
Scolari.
that team actually like if you remember that Portugal team in 2004 Euro, it was brilliant to watch them actually.
Not in 2022. Not Scolari. That's a suicide. They have very
Oh,
good
that's true.
they have very good coaches in South America doing very well. Portuguese coaches, especially last time they won. Um,
Uh,
Palmeiras coach.
Palmeiras.
Can't remember.
Oh no, um,
And they're very
no,
good,
there are so
interesting
many.
coaches, and Portuguese coaches are really interesting. Some of them, and doing very well even in Europe. So yeah, they do have better coaches than Santos.
Maybe Roberto Di Matteo.
Hands up. Uh,
uh, yeah, like Flamengo coach. I forgot his name.
uh, but yeah, it's all about. Well, there's no point of talking without Santos. At least no. The
Yeah,
World Cup is what 60 days away.
yeah, but this team is like World Cup winning potential. At least like they can go to towards the deep at least like quarter semi probably semi.
Right, right. I just watched Argentina versus Honduras before this recording, and
Mm.
I thought what I liked so far is that the players that they just started to bring in from bench, especially Thiago Almada after he came in, looked like He just
McAllister played.
he came from bench. Uh,
Okay.
so it was the general first 11, except
Uh,
the Papu
who
Gomez
was
was
the
playing.
center backs?
So Rooney started in the goalkeeping position. It was Petzela and Lisandro Martinez because Cuti Romero could not have USA visa yet. Uh, Molina on the right back.
They could
Uh,
have actually called me because I applied for visa.
so Molina was in the right back. Tagliafico in the left back because Acuna is injured. You have Rodrigo Di Paul, Paredes, and Lo Celso. And then,
Well, pretty much the main team.
yeah, pretty much Messi, Lautaro Martinez with Papu Gomez starting. That was the only one, I guess, instead of Di Maria because Di Maria is not fit.
Yeah.
Um, the first goal came from Messi's beautiful pass finding Papu Gomez run, and he crossed, and Lautaro scored. Uh, and then again, in the second, I think the second goal was again Messi involved, passing it beautifully. Uh, Lo Celso was fouled in the box. Messi scored the penalty, and the third goal was even better. But before even going to third goal, Enzo Fernandez entered for
How many goals
three
they
goals.
scored?
Three goals.
Oh, okay.
So Enzo Fernandez entered for Paredes, and the guy was pissed. Uh, I would be really surprised if they don't select him
World Cup.
in the World Cup. I think he's even better than Paredes. Whatever I've seen.
Yeah, that's the issue actually. Thing is that like
So
they will
he pressed the
they will
guy. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah they will probably take McAllister because of versatility. It's for sure
I don't think so.
so far.
After today, I don't think so. McAllister did play. I mean, in second half.
No. For versatility, for example, like if
No, no,
people,
I get that. I get that.
uh,
But Enzo can
but
play
Guido
anywhere.
Rodriguez, did he played or
No, Guido wasn't. It was Enzo Fernandez for Paredes. I think Thiago Almada came
who
in.
came for Lochetso?
Angel Correa.
Oh, okay.
And Messi was pushed up. Alvarez played the second half, not Lautaro. But
Hmm.
Alvarez played on the left flank, trying
Hmm.
to. And I think Thiago Almada and Enzo Fernandez especially had the best game. So Enzo basically pressed so hard the defenders over there from base, and Messi was just found space and he just clipped it over the keeper. So it was
So he's good.
Messi's second goal, but
Okay.
technically it's Enzo Fernandez assist, and also Enzo passed 37, and 37 passes were successful, and he was finding Messi from deep, like like a magical connection. It was
Oh.
almost Messi scored another bicycle kick, not bicycle, like a half volley kick,
Hmm.
but it just flew over the bar. But the passes were like I see Enzo Fernandez, I don't see anyone else was getting selected. I think he was superb. He hit the post once,
Hmm.
and that's his first game
Wow.
for the national team, right? So it would be hard to it would be hard if they don't take him. I can,
What about Guido Rodriguez? Is he in the team or
he's on the squad, but he didn't play today. I think they were trying to see some of the new players, what what
yeah,
what they can do.
what they have? Yeah.
And I still find that 100% pass accuracy for 22 or 25 minutes from Enzo Fernandez is brilliant game. Is a class
Yeah,
player,
that's true. We have been talking about him for a while. Like, why wouldn't he get chances? So
and he's
now
21.
finally, he did.
He's
Yeah.
21, and unfortunately, I can see Palacios is injury prone of Leverkusen, right?
And Leverkusen is not doing well. So does Palacios.
Yeah, I mean he's done well and not well. I mean he's had some mixed bags. But
Well, that also affects like coaches, like when they are picking teams. Like
yeah,
Leverkusen is not doing well, so does Juventus. So like Paredes and with
Palacios.
Palacios,
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know, like even if he chooses them, like he will have some sort of like a doubt over them.
it is actually.
No.
Yeah, and in the first half, because Argentina is built on De Paul, Paredes, Lo Celso, and Messi's intercircuit of passing range, right?
Yeah.
And some of the stagnation, because Honduras was sitting deep, absorbing pressure. They don't have any intention to go out, and that passing was not coming in as smooth as I think it was after a while they're playing. But after the first goal, it started to flow in. But I thought Paredes and DePaul looked a little bit exhausted.
Yeah.
It may be because they're playing too much, or something is not clicking. But as soon as Thiago Almada came in, the passing became crisp, and also the Enzo Fernandez came in, it became something else. So that might influence some of the decision making of who's in, who is not. And I think I feel bad for Dybala getting injured uh, just before the World Cup. he's he's still there in
Every
the
time,
team.
every time.
Yeah, it's a bad time to be injured.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think both Brazil and Argentina are looking very good in terms of if you compare them to some of the European teams.
Well, if you compare them to other title contender, and I don't see, except for Portugal, I don't see, or Spain probably, I don't see any other title contender
Yeah.
right now. Germany is not that. Germany it would have like needed a little bit more time, like 1.5 year probably. In the next Euro, probably they will be there, but not now.
By the way, I should mention Iran beat Uruguay 1-0 today. Um,
Hmm.
so that's that's a bit of a win for Iran. Um, and also, I should mention Canada did win against Qatar. I think it was 2-0.
Wow.
Was fairly good game
In Qatar,
in Qatar. Yeah,
that would be a conditioning test for Canada.
yeah. I think they've done fairly well. I think some of the very good. Jonathan Davis got goal. Was important to give him.
Yeah, he has some sort of like a scarcity for
Yeah,
goals for a
exactly.
while.
So that gives him a little bit of confidence, hopefully, and it's very important to keep everyone
Yeah.
fit. And also the goalkeeper of kind of Borja is very important player, and he played really well today as well. So yeah, very hopeful about Canada. I hope Croatia doesn't pick up, and Belgium looked really good actually first half.
Actually, they played with Batshuayi, right?
Yeah,
Um, in the and he was actually like way faster, and he was linking up with De
De
Bruyne,
Bruyne is
and
fantastic.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was fantastic. Yeah. So also, I guess there are some changes in personnel, and Eden Hazard looked well again. He
He probably
shoot
stopped eating some cheeseburgers.
probably. He looked well actually, like fair to be fair to say, a little bit in shape and also a little bit in game as well.
He did. He did. Um, but yeah, that's about it from me.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add actually.
Well,
There aren't any much like any games. I guess like there will be some tomorrow.
yeah, some of the second of the glorified friendlies. Yeah, we'll see. Are we okay to wrap
Yeah,
it up? Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, whoever is watching, please let us know with the comment if you're typing. And thanks someone typed in, I guess in Russian. I have to translate that and come back to. I mean, if there is any message. Uh,
No, it was in German actually,
was in
but I
German.
did not. Yeah, I did not get it actually. It was talking
Okay.
about some numbers, and I don't understand like like whoever he or she was that person was saying like skipping 1 to 10. I don't know what did he mean.
Yeah, skipping 1 to 10 makes sense if the number 10 is Lionel Messi. I agree. Other than that, there's no nothing to make sense about it. But other than that, if you're watching, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, and we'll keep coming back in next week. Thank you.